stop right there, because that $half in your pocket could be worth way more than you think. Some rare $half coins have sold for hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, and people are still spending them without knowing. At number 3, a rare $half with strong silver content and sharp details. Many of these coins were melted down, making surviving examples more valuable today. If yours has clear features and little wear, it could be worth serious money. At number 2, a hidden error $half. These coins look normal at first, but small mint mistakes like doubling or off-center strikes can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's jackpot. Always check the details closely. The smallest error can mean big value. And at number 1, the ultimate $half treasure. A rare high-grade coin with original shine and perfect condition. These coins are extremely hard to find, and collectors are willing to pay thousands for the best examples. So, before you spend any $half, take a closer look. That coin you're holding could be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Moneybag fire. Stop for a second, because that simple-looking $half from 1990 could be hiding something most people completely miss. It may look like just another modern coin, something you might ignore, or even spend without thinking. But what if I told you that some 1990 D $half have sold for far more than 50 cents, sometimes hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on rare features? Most people assume modern coins are worthless. They believe only old coins have value. But that belief is exactly why valuable modern coins keep getting overlooked every single day. And the 1990 D $half is a perfect example of this hidden opportunity. This coin is part of the Kennedy $half series, which was first introduced in 1964. It was created to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By 1990, the coin was no longer made from silver for general circulation. Instead, it was struck in a copper-nickel composition, which makes many people think it has no real value beyond face value. But here's where things get interesting. Not all coins are valuable because of their metal. Some become valuable because of rarity, condition, errors, and demand. And that's exactly where the 1990 D $half can surprise you. The D mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver. Millions of these coins were produced, so at first glance, it doesn't seem rare. But here's the key. Most of these coins were heavily circulated or poorly stored. That means finding one in perfect condition today is much harder than people realize. Condition is everything. A worn 1990 D $half might only be worth its face value. But if you find one in high-grade, uncirculated condition, with sharp details and original luster, the value can increase significantly. Collectors are always searching for coins that look almost brand new, even decades after they were made. Now imagine this, a coin that has survived for years without being scratched, worn, or damaged. The surfaces are clean. The design is sharp. The shine is still there. That's the kind of coin collectors pay attention to, and that's where prices can start to climb. But we're not done yet, because there's another factor that can turn a normal 1990 D $half into something much more valuable: errors. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the production of a coin. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, which makes them rare. And rarity is what drives value. Some 1990 D $half have been found with double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated. Others may have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or other unusual features. These errors can make a coin stand out from millions of others. To most people, an error might look like damage, but to collectors, it's a hidden treasure. And depending on the rarity and visibility of the error, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now think about how many coins are sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections right now. People don't check them. They don't look closely. They assume they're just regular money. That's where the opportunity is. Because valuable coins don't announce themselves. They don't shine differently. They don't come with a label saying, "I'm worth money." You have to find them. You have to look closely. And you have to know what you're looking for. Let's talk about what you should check on your 1990D half dollar. First, look at the overall condition. Is the coin worn, or does it still have strong details? Can you see the hairlines clearly? Are the edges sharp? The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Second, check the surface. Does the coin still have its original luster, or does it look dull? Shiny, well-preserved coins are much more desirable. Third, examine the details carefully. Look at the lettering, the date, and the design. Do you see any doubling? Any unusual shapes? Anything that looks different from a normal coin? Fourth, check for damage versus error. Real mint errors happen during production and usually have a specific pattern. Damage, on the other hand, happens after the coin leaves the mint. Knowing the difference is important. Now, here's something many people don't realize. Even without errors, some 1990 D half dollars have sold for high prices simply because of their grade. Coins that are graded at the highest levels, often called mint state grades, can be extremely valuable because they are so hard to find. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. And when rarity meets demand, prices go up. Some collectors spend years trying to find the perfect example of a specific coin. They want the best of the best, and when they find it, they're willing to pay a premium. This is why coin grading services exist. They evaluate coins, assign them a grade, and seal them in protective holders. A graded coin often sells for more because buyers trust its authenticity and condition. So, if you believe you have a high-quality 1990 D half dollar, getting it graded could increase its value. But remember one very important rule. Never clean your coin. Cleaning might seem like a good idea, but it can actually destroy the value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural state. Cleaning can leave scratches and remove the original surface, making the coin less desirable. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Coin collecting is not just about money. It's about history, discovery, and the thrill of finding something rare. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story includes a mistake, a rarity, or a unique feature that makes it valuable. The 1990 D half dollar may not seem special at first glance, but once you understand what to look for, it becomes something much more interesting. It becomes a possibility that you could find something valuable where others see nothing. And that's what makes this exciting, because valuable coins are still out there. They're in circulation, they're in old collections, they're in places where people least expect them. And every day, someone finds one. So, the next time you see a half dollar, don't ignore it. Pick it up, look at it closely, check the details, because you never know. That simple coin could be worth far more than 50 cents. It could be a hidden opportunity, a collector's prize, or even a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Money bag fire. Stop right now, because that shiny half dollar from 1990 with a small S mint mark could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Most people think modern coins are just pocket change. They assume only old, silver coins are worth real money. But that belief is exactly why valuable coins are still hiding in collections drawers and coin sets all over the world. Today, we're talking about the 1990 S half dollar, a coin that many people overlook, but collectors know can be extremely valuable under the right conditions. Now, let's start with something important. The S mint mark stands for San Francisco. Unlike regular coins made for circulation, most 1990 S half dollars were struck as proof coins. That means they were specially made for collectors, not for everyday use. They have a mirror-like finish, sharp details, and a high-quality strike that makes them stand out from normal coins. But here's the truth, not all proof coins are valuable. Many people assume that because a coin is a proof, it must be worth a lot of money. But value depends on more than just being a proof coin. It depends on condition, rarity, and sometimes hidden errors that most people never notice. A typical 1990 S proof half dollar might only be worth a few dollars if it's common and has no special features. But if the coin is in perfect condition, with deep mirror surfaces and no marks, its value can increase significantly. Collectors pay more for coins that are flawless. And this is where things start to get interesting, because the highest quality proof coins are graded using special standards. Some coins receive top grades, meaning they are nearly perfect. These coins are extremely desirable, and their prices can rise much higher than average examples. Now, imagine finding a 1990 S half dollar that has been perfectly preserved for decades. No scratches, no fingerprints, no damage, just a clean, sharp, mirror-like coin. That's the kind of coin collectors chase. And when demand is high and supply is low, prices can go up quickly. But there's something even more important you need to know. Errors. Yes, even proof coins can have mint errors. And when they do, they can become incredibly valuable. Some 1990 S half dollars have been found with double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated. Others show signs of misalignment, off-center strikes, or unusual finishes. These errors are rare, especially in proof coins, which makes them even more desirable. To most people, these differences are easy to miss. But to collectors, they can mean everything. An error coin is unique. It stands out. And because of that, it can sell for much more than a normal coin. Now think about this for a moment. How many proof coin sets are sitting in collections right now, completely unchecked? How many people own these coins but have never examined them closely? That's where the opportunity is. Because valuable coins don't always look different at first glance. Sometimes the difference is small. Sometimes it's hidden. And sometimes it's the kind of detail only careful observation can reveal. Now, let's talk about what you should look for on a 1990 S half dollar. First, check the surface. Proof coins should have a mirror-like background. If the coin looks dull or scratched, its value may be lower. But if it still has that deep mirror shine, that's a good sign. Second, look at the design details. The portrait and lettering should be sharp and clear. Proof coins are struck with extra pressure, so the details are usually very strong. Third, examine the coin under light, move it around, and look for any unusual reflections or doubling in the letters or numbers. These could be signs of an error. Fourth, check for spots or damage. Even small marks can affect the value, especially for proof coins. The cleaner the coin, the better. And here's something very important. Never clean a proof coin. Cleaning can destroy the mirror finish and leave scratches that reduce the value significantly. Even touching the surface with your fingers can leave marks. Always handle coins carefully, preferably by the edges. Now, let's talk about grading. Professional grading can make a huge difference in value. A coin that looks perfect to you might receive a lower grade if it has small flaws. On the other hand, a coin that receives a top grade can be worth much more because collectors trust the certification. Some high-grade 1990 S-proof half dollars have sold for much higher prices than ordinary examples. The difference between a common coin and a top-grade coin can be dramatic. This is why serious collectors pay attention to details. They look for the best quality. They look for rarity. And they look for coins that stand out. Now, here's the exciting part. Valuable coins are still out there. They haven't all been found. They haven't all been graded. Some are sitting in collections untouched for years. And some might even be in your possession right now. You just have to take the time to look, because most people don't. Most people assume modern coins have no value. They don't check. They don't examine. And because of that, they miss opportunities. But now you know better. Now, you know that even a modern coin like the 1990 S half dollar can have value. Now, you know what to look for. And now you understand that small details can make a big difference. So, the next time you see a proof coin, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. Examine the surface. Check the details. Look for anything unusual. Because that coin might be more than just a collector's piece. It might be a hidden treasure, a rare find, or even a valuable asset waiting to be discovered. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. The treasure is already out there. You just have to recognize it. Stop right now, because that ordinary-looking half dollar in your pocket could secretly be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Most people ignore the 1972 half dollar coin, thinking it's just another old piece of change. But What if I told you that some of these coins are selling for far more than 50 cents? And the craziest part, you might already have one without even realizing it. The 1972 half dollar is part of the famous Kennedy half dollar series, first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. These coins quickly became some of the most collected coins in American history. But by 1972, something important had changed. Unlike earlier versions, the 1972 half dollar contains no silver at all. It's made of copper and nickel, which means most people assume it has no extra value. And that's exactly why so many valuable ones are overlooked. Now here's where things get interesting. Even though the 1972 half dollar isn't made of silver, certain rare versions, errors, and high-grade coins can be worth serious money. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally spend a valuable coin. First, let's talk about mint marks. The 1972 half dollar was produced at two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia usually have no mint mark, while Denver coins have a small D mint mark. At first glance, both might seem common, but condition is everything. A regular 1972 half dollar in worn condition might only be worth face value, but if you find one in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, its value can jump significantly. Some high-grade 1972 coins have sold for over $100, and in rare cases, even more depending on their quality. But the real treasure lies in error coins. One of the most valuable types of 1972 half dollars is the double die error. This happens when the coin design is stamped twice slightly off alignment, creating a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you look closely at the words Liberty or the date 1972, you might notice a shadow-like doubling. That small detail can turn a 50-cent coin into something worth hundreds of dollars. Another error to watch for is the off-center strike. This is when the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some off-center 1972 half dollars have sold for over $200 or more. Then there are clipped planchet errors. These coins have a portion missing from the edge because of a mistake during the cutting process. These unusual shapes make the coin highly collectible and valuable. And here's something most people don't know. There are also proof versions of a 1972 half dollar. These were specially made for collectors and have a mirror-like finish. They were never meant for circulation, but some have ended up in everyday change. If you find a 1972 half dollar with a shiny, almost glass-like surface, you could be holding a proof coin worth much more than face value. Now, let's talk about grading, because this is where the real money is made. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The closer a coin is to 70, the more valuable it becomes. A 1972 half dollar graded at MS65 or higher can sell for much more than a regular coin. And coins graded MS67 or above can reach hundreds of dollars, especially if they have strong luster and no visible marks. So, how do you know if your coin is valuable? Start by checking the condition. Look for sharp details, no scratches, and strong shine. Next, check for errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual shapes. Then, examine the mint mark. And finally, compare your coin with verified examples online or consider getting it professionally graded. The truth is, most people never check their coins. They spend them without a second thought. And because of that, valuable coins continue to circulate every single day. That means there's still a chance for you to find one. Imagine finding a coin in your change that could be worth $100, $500, or even more. It happens more often than you think. Coin collectors are constantly searching for hidden treasures, and many of them started just like you, checking their pocket change. And here's a powerful tip: don't just look at one coin. Check every half dollar you come across. Look in old jars, piggy banks, or even ask family members if they have old coins lying around. You never know where a valuable 1972 half dollar might be hiding. Another important thing is storage. If you believe you found a valuable coin, don't clean it. cleaning can actually reduce its value significantly. Instead, store it safely in a coin holder to protect it from damage. Also, remember that the coin market changes over time. What might be worth $50 today could be worth $200 in the future as demand increases. That's why many collectors hold onto their best coins as an investment. The 1972 half dollar may not contain silver, but it still has a story, and for collectors, that story matters. It represents a piece of history, a moment in time, and for some lucky people, a hidden opportunity to make money. So, the next time you see a half dollar, don't ignore it. Take a closer look, because that simple coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. And if you want to discover more rare coins, hidden errors, and valuable finds, make sure to stay connected, because the next coin you check might just change your life.